I think my mic was muted. I apologize for that. My mic was muted. I think it's unmuted now. I don't know why yeah, my mic is unmuted now. So thank everyone for tuning in. We're gonna have to do this again. No one told me my mic was muted. I apologized. Zion, Zion Malik, was I coming? You on Instagram? Was I coming through? I think my mic was muted on Facebook. Yeah. Okay. Cool. 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 I think. Okay. I think my mic was muted. I think I'm through now. All right. I appreciate it. All right. Let's get back into it now. I apologize on Facebook. It's going to be a long period where you don't even hear me talking. So you have to go to Instagram and also on YouTube. I don't even think, and on Twitter. There was no feed going through. So I'm going to go through this again. I apologize on Instagram, but I got to go through. I'm going to do a short synopsis of what I was talking about. What I was talking about, love, sex, and thought, our inability to understand the purpose of sex, and our inability to understand the purpose of the female, the purpose of the male. And this is all coinciding with a conversation that I had with Dale Castro, him being hospitalized for issues that we will talk about at another time. None of us were taught about sex. None of us were taught the purpose of sex, the purpose of the female. We just thought a woman is supposed to be a sex object. And in thinking that you're supposed to be a sex object, you give your body to men who only want the desire to fulfill their desires of pleasure from your adornments, meaning your breasts, your butt, your vagina, your lips. Whatever they can stick into them 4 spots, they find with that. That's pleasure from the lower part of the self. But we were never taught how to please a man or woman to where you elevate their thinking to the thinking of God. So sex was made to be something filthy, something not talked about. This is by design because Satan knows that through sex you can either understand God or understand him. Either way, that's what is talked about in the Bible of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and the tree of the knowledge and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life. When you choose the tree of life, when you're engaged in sexual when you're engaged with sex with your partner, the energy that you produce through the friction of sex rises to the forehead, it rises to the brain. That's why you see the symbol of the gold crown on top of the head of an angel or a halo. When you choose sex from a filthy side, masturbation, porn, and things of that nature without the proper understanding of it, that's what you see in terms of the devil with the tail and the horns. Everything is self-gratifying. It's egotistical. So when a woman is with a man, you are with this man, and the two of you have to sit down and discuss sexual matters. The two of you have to get together, sit down, and discuss what one partner likes, what one partner dislikes, what they would like for you to do. Nothing in your bedroom is filthy to your spouse, with the exception of what God disagrees with. So, your body, female, your breast, the nipple has nerve endings that reaches throughout the entire body and connects to the heart, to the spine. When a woman is impregnated by a man, she immediately falls in love with what's inside of her. So she begins to produce milk. That milk is in the breast. That milk, when the child is born, the child sucks on the breast. And from the breast, the child gets love and nourishment. But this world taught you that the minute the child is one, you're supposed to take them off the breast and put them on cow's milk. So now the child is drinking the milk of a cow, animal milk. And now the mother is saying it's nasty for a child to be sucking on a mother's breast, but you suck on a cow breast, a cow nipple, a hairy, mangy, flea-bitten nipple of a cow. You drink out of that. You give your child that, and worse than that, you give them Infamil, Similac powdered milk that has no emotional connection to their heartstrings or their growth. You understand what I'm saying? All that is related to sex is related to God and God's growth. When sex is entered from the left side, then you begin to understand cardinal things, worldly things. And all you want to do is screw so you can come, orgasm, shoot stuff out your pee-wee or whatever, and you get this instant feeling, but it goes away as quick as it came. So what happens? You begin to need that feeling over and over. So you're masturbating, but you will never get that feeling again. Same thing that happened with drugs. You get the feeling one time and you chase that feeling for the rest of your life. So you do more and more drugs. In terms of relationships, woman, you used to have a great connection with a man. You used to be able to understand when he was frustrated, when he was tired, when he needed love and comfort. And you could take your shirt off, woman, and put your breast on that man's back or hug him with your breast and he could feel your nipples. And you could connect with him through the nerve endings of your breast and give him the love and comfort that he needed to make it through a whole nother day. But songs like Use What You Got to Get What You Want and Ain't Nothing Going On But the Rent and What's Love Got to Do with It has caused you to think that your body is for sale. Slavery made you to think that your body is for sale. So instead of using the adornments that God gave you for pleasure to a man, because the man is the head of the house, the God of the house, you are the second self of God, you cause chaos in your house through sexual frustration. Now the man is out having carnal sex with, he loves you, but he's out having carnal sex with other women because you won't do the things that he desires for you to do to make him feel good. You sitting up in the house with a frock on. You sitting up in the house with a bra and panties on, but he wants you to be that free, freakish lady for the night. He needs that. But you are unable to accommodate that because somebody hurt you in your life and you think that sex is a tool that you, a bargaining chip, or you think that sex is something that you do, I'm going to give them a little bit and do my wifely duties and that's it. But sex is of God. A hug from a woman can bring comfort to a man. For her to run her fingers through his hair. Little children like to hold hands, that's comfort. Fathers love to see their young daughters, that's comfort. Not sleep with their daughters, but just to see them. So when a man is under extreme stress, you're supposed to be, as a woman, able to detect that. And parental discretion is advised, but take your hand and grab his penis. That's the magic wand. Grab it, rub it, touch it. Give him your energy. That is the quickest way energy can flow through a man's body is through his penis. Give him that. Or touch his nipples. That's a quick way that energy can rush through his body. Give him that. But if you hear him saying he needs you, then be there for him, or else another woman will be there for him. And he don't love that woman, but she gives him carnal pleasure. He sticks his penis in her, he ejaculates, and he gets pleasure from the waist down. But you can give him pleasure from the waist down. As the blood strikes the heel, it comes back to the brain, and he falls in love with you. But now you're going through life with these beautiful breasts, beautiful behind, beautiful vaginal shape. And you don't want to share that with your husband, but that's his pleasure. That's his adornment. If he's tearing up your body, then you're doing sex wrong, because sex is supposed to be pleasurable. Sex is supposed to rise your consciousness to a higher level. It is called transmutating of sexual energy. It is, some people call it naked church, because you are literally, that's why in porn movies they faking it, they're lying, and the minute you start lying, you're destroying the God spirit. But when you start calling on God, oh God, oh God, and some people say God damn, but it's the God energy that you feel. It's a feeling that you never got before. Your parents didn't teach you this about sex, so you just ran to sex and think that screwing and effing is love, but it's not. So in terms of why I use my partner Castro Powell as an example, we must begin to understand when a man is under stress, and this world is stressing us. But when the male and female energy connects for a while, you can escape this world and go someplace else. I am not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. This is all true. So I wanted to put that out there first. That is the first part. That's one of the things I want to talk about. And if you have any questions, comments, put it on the board. But I know what you all are doing. At 50 and 60 years old, you're still just fucking. That's all you're doing. You get nothing out of it but a come. It ain't even an orgasm. It's just a quick feeling of joy. And that feeling is over in less than 2 seconds. It's gone. But when you are in love and you are making God love and love energy, that thing lasts, it can last for days. And then you come down from it and you can get depressed. It's like a high. So I want to talk about the law of the pendulum and how the things we do one way, we got to do another way. This is a different kind. You're not going to get this out of school. The knowledge that God has given me is not going to make me rich. I ain't going to get no big old house and Rolex watches and Maybachs and all this Aston Martins. None of that comes with this. What comes with this is, as my son and I were talking today, to whom much is given, much is required. That's what comes with it. More responsibility in trying to share the knowledge so that when the next generation comes up, and they will come up with more power, they will come up with more energy, they will come up with more creativity. But if they're running in the wrong direction with those things, then they're destroying more than they're building. Now, this millennial generation, unfortunately, a lot of you are destroying more than you're building. And I was telling my son today, I don't know why I said it, but I was saying, I don't want you to think that I'm trying to stop you from what you think God is telling you, because my period of time is not in your world. Your world is something different than mine, but I got to take all of the tools out of my world that I know are valuable and useful and continuous and share them with you. Now, you take what I give you, and if you can use it, you use it, you add it on to what you have been given, and we will create something of value. These types of lessons, we must begin to put our minds in alpha mode. When you're looking at your computer screen, you're in alpha mode. That's why you all get so hypnotized and caught up with this foolishness on YouTube, with television shows, because the moment you start looking at them, you go into alpha mode. And alpha mode is how society controls the behavior of the people and steer their behavior any way they want it to go, based upon color, sound, smell, shapes. So when you are in alpha mode, you are in a state of hypnosis, that either you can take valuable information and execute it because you're in a hypnotic state, or you can take negative information. Now, I told my son, we were talking, and he wrote down what he said because I thought it was just that valuable. And I want to read this. We're not going to be on more than an hour, but we are talking about the universal law of the pendulum. Out of chaos comes order. And this is universal law of God, because the Bible in the book of Genesis says, and I want to go to it real quick. I'm gonna be all over the board, so y'all just stick with me because I want to share this information with you. Yeah, let's go here. In the Bible, in the book of Genesis, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the waters. Most people stop right at in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Don't say nothing else. But then it says the earth was without form, chaos, and it was void, empty, and it was dark, confusing. Darkness was on the face of the deep, and the spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Now, you got no form, you got darkness, you got chaos, void of any form, shape, but yet water is there. What was holding the water? The same thing that holds the child in the womb of the mother is a water sac. It protects the child in the womb. Where did it come from? How can a child breathe in a water sac in the mother? How does the child eat? In the midst of chaos is order. So I want to read this real quick for my son. I told him to write it down, and I got it written so sloppy I probably can't read it right. But he used the analogy of trains, because I was telling him, I said, you all are the chosen of God in a sense. You got a lot of power because you're not as afraid to do certain things. I said, but you are not taking the gift that God has given you and using it properly. You want to be more like Satan than you want to be like who God wants you to be. So Satan puts up this image of what he wants you to be. And you want to be that as opposed to being who God wants you to be. And that's why we got all of these gangs and political parties and religious parties, because all we do is follow. We just follow whatever is here. Yet the book says that there will be a new heaven and a new earth, and we claim that's what we want, but we are not fighting for that. Only thing we're fighting for is to be in this world. But the scripture says be in the world, but not of it. So here we go. I'm talking to my son, and he says trains weigh thousands of tons, and they take a very long time to get moving. Using that as an analogy as to the strength and the weight of the youth and the knowledge that they have, the weight that they carry, and how long it takes them to Zion, and how long it takes them to take that knowledge and utilize it for good. So it says trains weighs thousands of tons. They take a very long time to get moving. This is my son talking to me, 15 years old. However, once they get moving, they are nearly impossible to stop. Once it gets moving, it's like a snowball rolling downhill, nearly impossible to stop. I want you to explain that real quick. Yeah, say exactly what you were saying.
So basically what I'm saying is that something with so much weight and power doesn't just move instantaneously like something that may be a little bit more light. And what I was kind of getting at is that older generations, they kind of had more limits in what they could do. Mm-hmm. The newer generation has a lot more outlet and possibility to travel further in life. Mm-hmm. But with that becomes more demons to fight and more trials and tribulations. So it's more difficult for them. Mm-hmm. For us, mm-hmm. It's more difficult to kind of get on that moving path, but we have so many more paths to take, mm-hmm. way more than previous generations. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Very clear. You finish?
I mean, is that all you want?
Yeah, I wanted you to explain that part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir.
With the weight of what the youth are carrying, to whom much is given, much is required. Because you are taking the wrong path to success, and the weight is so strong, we're getting hooked on sex, the filthy way. We're getting hooked on drugs, the filthy way. getting hooked on whatever takes us out of the mindset that we must be responsible for our own actions and reactions. We're finding something to escape from that. So the word is that this generation is weaker and wiser, very weak. You'll be consumed by sex, by drugs, by selfish desires, but it's going to take a lot to get us on the path that God wants us on. So our youth have many new opportunities to travel farther in life than we did. So many of you, in your arrogance, you think that we didn't try hard enough as your parents, or that their parents didn't try hard enough. So you're saying that we could have done more if we had tried harder, but we did the best with what we were given. I want to share you all, I want to get you acquainted with the elders, get the elders acquainted with the youth, because there is a great division between us. I felt the division. I didn't like y'all at all. I didn't like this generation of children. I didn't like the way y'all abuse opportunity, abuse your courage, abuse your ability to do things that we weren't able to do. And I still don't like it. I don't like the idea that you don't join a gang to say our gang is going to do the best for the community. You join a gang with the intentions of terrorizing your community. You join a gang with the intentions of saying who we're with is better than who you're with, and we're going to prove it. And this is where the law of the pendulum becomes very dangerous. Stick in there for a minute, and if you can't, I got a few things I want to show you about the law of the universal law of the pendulum and how you cannot escape universal law and how you think you're going to be on top always. Y'all got more people in y'all gang because everybody joining y'all gang, but it's going to change. People are going to leave your group and they're going to join the next group or create their own group, and you're going to continue to clash until South Carolina will look like Detroit or parts of Chicago or parts of New Orleans or parts of Alabama or parts of Jacksonville. And once you've destroyed everything in the area where you are, you're going to start taking your foolishness into the neighborhoods that has nothing to do with what you're doing. Now you're shooting into homes and killing innocent people. We're there already. The same thing applies to Republicans and Democrats. They're red too. They're claiming colors too. They're red, Democrats are blue. They're donkey, Democrats are the reds are the elephant, Democrats are the donkey. Everybody's claiming side. The Christians say the non-denominational are better than the holy apostolistic. It's a gang everywhere you go. Everybody's trying to prove that they are better. This is what happens when power is given. Power, absolute power, corrupts absolutely. There is none that aren't corrupt. The politicians are corrupt. They're being paid to do something or lean somewhere. The business people in Clarendon County, corrupt. The police department, if they mess up something, they're going to cover their tracks, and so be it if your child gets no justice. Some of them are corrupt. I said some. And I can say that because universal law does not lie. So my son is talking about all of the opportunities. And when opportunities come, greed comes. This is coming out of his mouth. We're having a discussion. New opportunities to travel far in life, but we also have many demons to fight and trials to face. He said that. We have more opportunities, but we also have more demons and more trials. That lets me know that at 15, the generation that he is born out of, the 2000 churn, because he's 2006, that God is tapping back into their spirit and calling back on them again. But those behind him have literally given into the world. And all you want to do is whatever the world is doing. The greatest opportunity in the world some of you had is when you were allotted that PPP loan and you blew it. The greatest opportunity that some of you had was the opportunity to start a legal business and you blew it. because you don't want to do right. You just want to do whatever makes you feel good. So now, in order to try to hold on to that kind of money, you start doing devilish and demonic things, robbing, stealing people's stuff out of their yard, robbing out of their houses, scamming. This is you. No different than the politician, the Democrat, the Republican, the Christian, the Muslim. Everybody wants the top spot. Nobody wants to work together. We're talking about the law of the pendulum. I'm almost done. I got a lot to talk about, so I'm not going to finish tonight. And I thank God for giving me the strength and the energy. And I apologize for earlier not having my mic on. I didn't even see that. The ending of what my son was talking about, if a train is going the wrong way, this is my piece of what I added on to what he's saying. If a train is going the wrong way out of control, the only thing that can stop it is another train with equal size, same speed, and the train is going to cause an accident. I talked to someone today and I told them, I said, you are headed for a disaster. I said, the decision that you have to make is, if the motorcycle is going off the cliff, are you going to stay on the bike and go off the cliff? Or are you going to jump off the bike and skin up your arms, break your leg, break your arm, skin up your face and survive? This is where this is where I told him that he was at right now at that point. But either way, you're going to get hurt on this one. Because the law of the pendulum says whichever way the pendulum swings, it's got to come back the other way. What goes around comes around. Cause and effect. Denzel Washington did a movie about a train going out of control and he had to use another train to stop the train. Great example of that. So everything that you all are doing with all the violence, something is going to match your violence. If it's not the community, it will be the federal government, because that's one opponent y'all haven't beaten yet. The same thing goes for entertainment, politics, and religion. Everybody's being called out now. Whatever clashes with the train coming in the other direction will have to cause a loss of life. So we're in a period of time, because our children chose and because the parents made excuses for their children rather than teach their children and demand that their children have respect for everybody. You gave them a pass and allowed them to do whatever the heck they wanted to do whenever they wanted to do it. Now they're out of control and you can't control them. Same thing that the government has done to the people by telling them you ain't got to work no more. We'll pay you not to work. You're creating an animal that you will not be able to control. People are not going back to these service jobs. They're going to find a way to scheme and scam. And because there's a group that is socially studying you socially, because they study social behavior, they know how to steer you in the direction of becoming depraved. So we are at that point today. The women acting so much like men, you can't comfort a man. A man can comfort a man better than a woman, because a man is acting like a woman that he would like to have himself. A woman the same, as tough as the next man, and trying to be what another woman would want in a man. But I got news for you. You can live that way if that's your choice. It's all a choice. But you will never be able to produce the energy that God intended that a man and a woman can produce. One exception. If, as a lesbian female, you have a close relationship to your father, and if, as a gay male, you have a close relationship with your mother, you may be able to produce the universal energy that can get you to the next level. Otherwise, everything that comes from your womb will be mentally retarded. Not physically disabled, but mentally retarded. They only can focus on things that capture their mind on an alpha level. Alpha. They must be hypnotized, so they don't read. Most of the generation from the 80s are not literate. That was one of R. Kelly hangups. He wasn't literate. Yes. Oh, it's still going. It'll pick back up. Yeah, it'll pick back up. It's not. They're illiterate. Now, my son just told me that I lost feed. I might lose feed on Facebook too. This kind of talk is not really permitted, but I got to do it. So you lose your ability to think rationally. So all of our thoughts are irrational. Now, stay with me, because everything that I say, it comes to a point at the end. Our thoughts are no longer rational, so we are now irrational beings. We're not rational beings. So we are in a state of what? Chaos. In a state of chaos, there is order. But whoever can create the order out of the chaos is the God of that period. No gang can create order out of chaos, because you don't have order. You got chaos. No religious organization can produce order out of chaos, because you don't have the ability to produce order out of chaos. Because you're teaching the people lies mixed with truth. And falsehood is not permitted in God's kingdom. Political parties cannot create order out of chaos. They're not putting it on the news, but there are clashes. There is mental illness. Why would you storm the Capitol? Now, these are supposed to be the intelligent people, the white folk, the alt-right or alt-left alternative. Why would you storm the White House without a plan? You didn't plan on overtaking the government. You went in there and sat in the president's desk and stole podiums. But in the midst of that chaos, a lot of high-end paperwork was taken as well, and will never be mentioned again. They cleaned up their dirt behind your foolishness. See, when Satan wants to kill one person, he'll kill 100 people and kill the one person he was after in the midst of that 100. And you don't even think about that one, because 100 people die. So in the midst of chaos is order. I want to take you somewhere real quick. I want to show you something. I don't know if I can. I need to show it on Instagram. So I'm gonna have to take this off of the podium and put it up for you. But I want to show you from a scientific standpoint how we are studied as a people, and how the pendulum gives the key to how to deal with people. So I want to do this real quick. I want to hide that. And I want to take this off real quick. Y'all bear with me, because Instagram makes it very difficult to get stuff on screen. I'm gonna see if I can switch the camera around. And I did. There it is. This is a demonstration of a giant. It's called a Newton's cradle, but it's how a pendulum swings. And in the pendulum swinging, what it's doing, if you, no matter how high you swing the ball, when it hits and strikes the ball on the opposite side, it causes that ball to move, but it barely affects the balls in the middle. So I want you to see this real quickly. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I want you to see how this works. When I'm talking about the law of the pendulum, and I want you to see how life works. When we're talking about a wife, when we're talking about gangs, when we're talking about politics, when we're talking about religion, and how we must learn to balance our thought in order to deal with whatever impact we are faced with. Now, watch the impact of the ball. Watch the three balls in the middle. The three balls in the middle are not affected by the swing of the one ball. Only one ball is affected by the swing of the one ball. The three balls have a tiny disturbance. And watch the two balls. When two balls are hit, two balls are affected by the weight and the impact of the other two balls on the opposite side. So whatever you do in one direction and whatever impact that causes on society, you will have to deal with it. Now watch the three balls. Only three, you hit it with three, only three move. Do you see that? This is how scientists study human behavior. This is how scientists, watch it when it clashes. You see that? And this is what is happening right now. There is a clash between left and right. There is a clash between political parties, gangs, and in the middle, if you can find your balance and your peace, you will not be affected by what is going on in society. Watch this. The same thing. We have to begin to center ourselves around God's knowledge. And in the middle of chaos, we will have peace. So in the midst of chaos in the mind of a man, woman, you are his peace. You are able to give him comfort from the nerve endings that you have in your body that can comfort him. Look at that. No matter how you play this thing, man, it is going to be the same effect. So I wanted to show you that. I'm not even going to go any further. It doesn't matter what you do to the balls. If you swing it with one, two, clash it with three, look at it. You see that? That's the study of human behavior. So there is no escaping your and my mistakes. We must face them. And keep in mind that these balls that are beating back and forth will not beat back and forth forever. They will give us a reset. We will be able to start over again. That's what it means by being born again. Once we deal with our issues and perfect those issues, I don't know what that feedback is. Hold on a minute. I don't know what that feedback is, but I'm this is the type of thing that happens when you start. Hold on. I apologize. This is the type of thing that I have to deal with every single day. And you, I think that's the feedback from this. I don't see it. Muted. Trying to get to it. Just a moment. I apologize for that. I don't even see my. Oh, there it is. Mute this. I'm gonna cut it off. I don't really need it. Yeah, that's what it is. I think. I'm gonna see. Let me get back over here. I gotta shut it down real quick. I apologize for that. I hope it didn't hurt your ears, but when you got a lot, yeah, when you got a lot of things running at one time, sometimes you run into feedback. But that's what.
Big system now.
Yeah, that's why you got to have a whole lot of people on your team, so you can figure these problems out on the fly. But that's not it either. It sounds like reverb or something, Malik. That's just brand new. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad that y'all are seeing this. I might have to cut off. This is what I deal with when I start talking There's always somebody up on there that's bothering my feeds. And again, I apologize for that, but I'm gonna go back and put this back up. I apologize for that. If I can't fix it, I'm gonna cut off and we'll start back. Since the time I started this broadcast, I was getting under trouble. Took it down a little bit, but it didn't fix it. It's crazy, right? But that just goes. That's all right. That just it sounds like reverb in it. But that that just goes to prove my son said I needed to get a new mix board, and he said I should get it before something goes wrong. So he 100%. So I'm gonna cut off. I'm gonna just cut off my video. Yeah, we'll finish this, and I'll do it on I'll do a part 2 to it, but I'm gonna have to cut off because the feed is being, I don't know, something's happening. So we're gonna just cut off. And I really think it's the internet doing it, but we'll see. So I thank y'all for tuning in. This is Jamil Salif me out of man here real quickly. Yeah, we will do a part 2. Well, it'll actually be part 3. So I thank y'all for tuning in, but we got to stop. I don't want this feed to keep going through like that. We will be back. Thank you, Facebook and Instagram, for scrambling up the signal. Y'all ain't worth the damn, man. We all good. God is the greatest. We'll be back on, guaranteed. Just give me a little bit of time. I'm not going to be back on tonight, but I did more than I thought I would. So I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you will share this information. Sorry about that, Facebook, YouTube, but I mean, you've seen it for yourself. I really get a lot of trouble. There's a feed, and I never had this issue before, ever. So thank you for tuning in. Jamil Salif, Jamil Manny.
Thank you so very much for tuning in to this month installment of the 19 Report. I am your host, Brother Johnny. I walked a thin line between right and wrong, took my fears to God, then I wrote this song. The spirit kept calling, so I answered the phone, and then I manned up and got some backbone. My mind resonates at a much higher tone, solid foundation, empire zone. 3 mountains, I'm in one, right to left counted, 9 and then 1, left to right switch it, 1 and then 9, west to east, south to north, a thin line. I know Christ exists, cause his mercy allows me a chance to stand 3 on a square. Yeah, we in there. This is Brother Johnny of Groove 19 Promotions.